and welcome back to the Dice Tower's coverage of the 2016 GAMA Trade Show, taking a look at what's coming up this year in board games. And now I am with Jason from Jasco, who has a nifty-dandy little game about Mega Man we're going to talk about a little bit, and then what Jasco has planned for the future. So go ahead and start off and tell us what you got here.
So this is Mega Man the board game. We kickstarted it back in 2014, and it went through a very lengthy approval process with Capcom.
Oh, that was kind of some hurdles to go through?
Yeah, definitely. It's they hired a new approvals person in Japan about the same time we got into licensing with Mega Man. So working with them in Japan and then going through Capcom America, it made, while our sculpts now look fantastic, it just took a long time to come out, but it did release February 12th. So.
Well, I was going to ask if that did add another extra layer of quality control to really help.
It went through 4 layers of quality control.
Wow.
So I think we have some of the coolest minis out there, pre-painted.
Yeah, the end results must have been worth it because they're very true to the source material then.
Yeah, we also made sure that the game is really based on the video game.
Excellent.
So when you play it, it is sort of a co-op, but also a single-player game. So when it's your turn, you're playing as Mega Man or another protagonist, and when it's not your turn, you join up with the rest of the table as Dr. Wily and his minions to keep the turn player from going forward.
Now, does it have the traditional power-ups that you get from beating mini-bosses?
It does. So once you go through a stage, you'll battle the boss at the end. If you beat the boss, you end up getting their powers, leveling up, and you can have certain power-ups against certain stages or certain bosses, and it kind of lets you plan your strategy through the rest of the game.
Are certain power-ups more effective versus certain bosses?
They definitely are. It's based entirely off of the video game. In fact, every part of each stage is represented in the game as well.
That's excellent.
So.
And how many does it play, and how long is this typical play session?
So it's the core game is 2 to 6 players. We recommend probably 3 or 4 because when you get to 5 and 6, it gets longer. It's about 40 minutes per player. Okay. That's why we like to go with the 3-player. It just doesn't take as long. And there's a few ways to mitigate the rules, but when you're first starting, it's you're also learning the rules as you go.
Of course, yeah, and that's with any game. Are there any pictures of the contents on the back of the box or anything?
We do have the minis on the back.
We have this extra camera, so we can actually. There you go, extra camera for you. Okay, so. In addition to Mega Man, what else does Jasco have that you're working on?
So Jasco now is coming out with, we have several UFS sets coming up. We just acquired for our 10th anniversary, which is this year for UFS, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Cowboy Bebop.
Ooh.
And our newest set coming up in the next couple of weeks is World of Indines from partnership with Level 99 Games.
Excellent.
And so we're really excited about that. In addition to that, he's partnered with us for Exceed, which is a new battle game using our property, Red Horizon. So that's a really exciting partnership with us and Brad from Level 99.
Wow.
So we're doing cross-promotion both ways.
That is interesting that you guys are working together that way.
And then in addition to that, sort of like UFS, we have another game based off of a universal tactics system for miniatures arena combat.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's going to be kickstarted relatively soon, starting with the Street Fighter license with fully painted sculpts, slightly larger than these.
You're going to have Street Fighter sculpts?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to go grab my wallet right now, but I don't have it with me. So how many sculpts, how many minis, and kind of what's the concept?
We currently have it planned for 30 different characters for Street Fighter, and it will expand. And the system is designed so that it's completely Street Fighter oriented, but it will be compatible with the following release, which is Mortal Kombat. And then the third release, which will be Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
And so all of them can fight against each other. You can build customized decks. There's terrain boards with destructible terrain and all these things you can throw people into, do extra damage. Every stage is represented, so you can fight on Giles Air Force Base or go to Namek and battle in Namek.
Is there a car to destroy in a certain time?
The car is part of the design right now.
Really?
And we're working with Kevin Wilson and Mac and a couple other great designers, Daryl. Angry Joe from the Angry Joe Show.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so he's actually the one partnered with us directly to promote the game and design the game and get it all out there.
Oh, excellent. So the whole network's kind of working together.
Yeah, it's a really big collaboration. We're really excited about it. I mean, the licensors plus the game designers and then Joe and then Jasco all together working on one project.
That's excellent. Is it going to be kind of a team-based or single character?
So there's a few different formats. The core game is a one-on-one, and you use your terrain around you plus a combat deck.
Okay.
And a character card.
So not dice-driven combat. It's going to be
There are dice, but your cards kind of determine your combos and everything you're going to do to require to roll hits and blocks and meter to get your meter moves up and do your EX or your X-ray or whatever, or go Super Saiyan. And then after that, you can do a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3, and that's when you're playing with your buddies against each other.
Okay.
And then the final format is the boss battle format, where you play 3 versus a overpowered boss as a cooperative, and that'll be like M. Bison or Akuma, or you'll play against like Brawly, like Super Saiyan 2 Brawly or something like that.
Cool. I was going to ask, I think Street Fighter just released Street Fighter V.
Yes.
And so is there a certain version of Street Fighter that's based on?
So the way the licensing works for all of this is, so we have the rights to all of Street Fighter and all of Mortal Kombat for the history of the games, but when we release them, they will be based off of specific games as each set comes out.
So they will be.
So the plan right now for Street Fighter is it'll be the look of Street Fighter 4 for the characters, but the boss battle, I believe, is Street Fighter 2. So we can get the old Bison and Akuma with the old stages from Street Fighter 2. And then Street Fighter 5 will come later, and because they're still releasing characters.
Yes, yeah. So that's really interesting that it's going to be released in segments like that, matching the games.
Right, right. And Mortal Kombat is the same way. We'll have Mortal Kombat 10 is the core game because it's the newest one, but we're going to have a throwback set that has, I think it's either Mortal Kombat Trilogy or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 or Mortal Kombat 2. I'm not really sure because it's going to have Shao Kahn and like the classic bad guys in the classic uniforms.
That's going to be really neat to see, and then how it all fits together.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sorry, I kind of sidetracked us there with Street Fighter.
Yeah, no problem.
Anything else coming that you wanted to mention?
Another big game we have coming up is a party game for Top Gun. It's a quote-based party game where you battle each other with insults and quotes from the game and try to outmaneuver each other to become Top Gun champion. It's got a really low price point, but a heavily quotable movie and great quote game designed by Ryan Miller.
It's one of those things that now that you mentioned, it's like, why doesn't this exist already? It's perfect for that.
This is the 30th year or anniversary for Top Gun, and I believe Tom Cruise just signed for another Top Gun movie, which is very interesting. But I mean, I'm excited just to see what everything Tom Cruise puts out is good somehow.
Somehow.
So, I mean, you got to be lucky to be in a good movie every time you do anything. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or just really smart with your scripting.
Yeah. So the Top Gun game is going to be based on actually coming up with movie quotes.
Yes. Yeah. So they're all quotes from the movie. You all play as one of the pilots from the movie, and it'll be the insults from the movie to knock out other people's maneuvers. And the whole goal is to have the highest rated maneuver when your turn starts.
It's got to be one of the most unique themes I've heard of this week. So that's excellent.
Yeah.
Anything else?
We've also got a partnership with Lynn Vander Studios. So Lynn Vander was a game publisher, and we've kind of acquired them as a studio now. And we're actually going to Toronto tomorrow to see the new studio. We have a bunch of designers, and their whole job now is to design for game companies. So you can have a one-stop shop, artwork, game design, publishing,
all
straight
in-house.
in. So yeah, so any publisher can work with Lynn Vander now, and they'll create a fully ready-to-go game.
Wow.
And hand it off to your printer. And so that's really exciting. We're going to meet with them this weekend and see what they're going to do for us. But we're working on a Mortal Kombat storyboard game, on same thing for Street Fighter, possibly Dragon Ball Z, and then I know there's a big one I haven't announced yet. There's a license that we're not going to talk about quite yet.
Okay, cool. Well, near future, was there anything coming up on Kickstarter? What the next big project was going to be?
The next 2 big Kickstarters will be the Universal Tactics System, starting with Street Fighter, and then our campaign's going to be a little weird with this one because we want the game to come out kind of all at the same time. We don't want people to wait a year for Mortal Kombat and another year for Dragon Ball. So we'll have a campaign and have either a 4 or 8 week break in between, and then it'll be Street Fighter, then Mortal Kombat, and then Dragon Ball Z.
Interesting.
And then that way they'll come out about the same time.
And when's that kicking off, the whole thing?
It was originally scheduled internally to have something ready for an announcement by the 20th. So we'll know pretty soon because we've been working very close with our sculptors and game designers and see when are we ready for the announcement.
Okay, that'll be excellent to keep an eye out for. Okay. Well, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for watching our coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2016. And be sure to stay tuned for the Dice Tower for even more coming up.